whatever it was, the players didn't pass with flying colors, and obviously the coaching staff didn't because they're gone. But Jeffrey Okudah has talent, otherwise he would have been taken or been thought of as being the top cornerback in last year's draft. So I don't even know if I want to use the term reclamation in terms of him being a reclamation project. I think it's just a simple task of, okay, we know who you are. We're going to put you in a position to succeed. Clearly, the previous coaching staff didn't do it, and your growth is going to start right now.
All right, so here's more from Jeffrey Okudah. What did you see that you could improve on? Here's what he had to say.
Looking at the film and breaking down how the offense is trying to attack, and that's what I try to do every single day going into the game plan. So just having the tools that AP has put in my toolbox is like I'm seeing film from a whole different perspective. I'm seeing the game completely different. So that's one thing that has me really excited going into my second year. It just kind of has slowed down in that aspect.
AP being Aubrey Pleasant, the secondary coach. Let's hope so. Let's hope that the different approach makes him a better player, because I don't know that we expect him to be great. Is a great player ever look that bad right out of the gate? They say it takes a while for it to work in the secondary. Is it possible that a great player on a typical learning curve who is banged up can look that bad?
I think it's possible. I'm struggling to come up with a name of somebody that looks so bad to start off and became really, really good. I don't know. We've seen hiccups in careers. Pat Swilling comes to mind. You know, all-pro player with the Saints. Lions trade for him. He doesn't really do a whole lot with the Lions. Then he leaves the Lions, goes to the Raiders, and all of a sudden he's back to form. Maybe it's just the abyss that is the Detroit Lions organization.
All right, and finally, do you feel pressure to improve? Here's what Jeffrey Okudah said.
I really don't feel any pressure because sitting down with AG and AP. Really, it's not about putting any pressure on myself. Just about coming in every day with a mindset to get better.
AG, Aaron Glenn, AP, Aubrey Pleasant. I wonder if that's true. I mean, do you think that that's true?
That he feels no pressure? I kind of do, because it's a whole fresh start with a whole new it's a whole new organization. So I kind of do feel like there wouldn't be pressure on him. It's just maybe it's the same thing he did coming into last year. Hey, high draft pick, there's probably pressure on you to perform. But as far as new pressure, I don't think there's any new pressure for him. He probably feels great about this situation. Here's what I'm hoping. You hear all the time about guys working out together in the summer, working out. You get Jerry Rice would run the hills and the hill climb, and would get all these other players to run with him and stuff, and guys doing different workouts. I would love to hear that Jeff Okudah is working out with Jalen Ramsey. Go out and work out with one of the best in the game, and a guy who performed underneath this coaching staff. Because it was with Aubrey Pleasant and had nothing but great things to say about Aubrey Pleasant. I would love to hear a story about that, or that he's at least talked with Jalen Ramsey, because Jalen Ramsey's fantastic.
Yeah. 248-539-9797. Phone calls and feedback coming up. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, since you spend more time at home these days, doesn't it make sense to have cleaner, healthier, and purified water in your home? Start with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by CGC Water. If you're not sure your water is good or bad, call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. They did it for us. They showed us what our city water actually looked like under a microscope, and boy, I was surprised. You feel better enjoying the benefits of Connecticut system installed by CGC. We've had one in our home for years now, 4 years actually, of not worrying about the water in our house, because Connecticut moves up to 99% of the contaminants. Remember this fact: if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter.
Shouldn't, because it's going to rain. Did one of my again. 7, 10, 10. Let's go with 10. That's fine. Thanks.
They've got the next great one in Jordan Love, and there's not reason to believe that just yet. They are probably launching into a bit of a rebuild around Jordan Love. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, if you're the Packers, is Aaron Rodgers still good enough to win a Super Bowl? And while he is 37, he'll turn 38 late in this coming season. He's coming off an MVP year. So let's say he declines a little bit because it's if he declines a little bit, Gator, are they good enough to win a Super Bowl? I think the answer is yes. Even if he declines a little. So then the next question is, how do you make him happy? By the GM?
Well, that would make him happy. That's what he would like to see done.
Maybe you talk to him. What makes you happy?
Well, I mean, if you like the job the GM has done, but you've got this problem with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that's tough. That's tough to think about how you would actually do it.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess I look at this situation and I say, you probably fire the GM and try and make everything. You give him everything he wants. Give him everything he I just look at this whole situation, and while his talent might say he's good enough, to win a Super Bowl, is he getting to a point where his personality or his demands or his treatment that he wants is making it awfully difficult, borderline impossible to build a team around? Like, is he becoming such a malcontent or a problem that you can't win with him? And I don't know. I mean, I think you have to look at it. It's a weird thing to say. You have to look at what's happened with his family. I guess I don't know for a fact that he's estranged from his family and they do it. It's too bad. It's too bad. But is that shed light on him being the kind of guy that he's becoming a problem? So I would have to think that in Green Bay he was a hero. Excellent hero. People probably had his side last year when they kicked the field goal if they touched him.
Right. Yeah, so just wire past because you end up losing the game. You'd rather take a shot at winning than lose that as opposed to not take the shot at all. Yeah.
Speaking of winning, the Pistons win last night. Their lead for one of those top 3 spots in the NBA is down to a game. Oklahoma City is just a game ahead of them or behind them, depending on how you look at it. Now it's nice to see some of the young guys lead the way. Sadiq Bey, Sekou, Beastu, all double figures. I gotta tell you, I'm starting to think that this Corey Joseph is one of the most fascinating players I've ever watched. Because he looks like, he kind of plays like that guy who's got next at LA Fitness. How this man gets his shot off in this league, maybe I'm wrong, he doesn't look particularly fast. He certainly doesn't get off the ground.
He's pretty fast. No, he's got ups.
He really doesn't.
Maybe not.
And yet he still manages to get to the rim. He's 6'3", he's 200 pounds, he's 29 years old, and if you told me he was 43, I'd go, that's about right.
Wow.
I mean, is he the most effective, bad-looking player you've ever seen? I said to my wife, watch this guy for just a minute and tell me how he's good. Because he's been pretty good here. I mean, not great. He's been good. He's been okay. I mean, he probably wouldn't play on a great team. But then the first thing he did was drive into the lane and get his shot rejected like a volleyball spike. And I laughed. I'm like, well, that's kind of what I expect to happen, but it doesn't happen as much as you'd think. Can you think of a player that when you watched him, you thought, that guy's not very good, and then they just made plays?
You know, it's funny because I was racking my brain as you're talking about this, and one guy comes to mind, just did not have a physique at all, right? No physique. He's one of the greatest players in history of the sport. And it's Brett Hull. I could have gone Wayne Gretzky, but Gretzky was just like thin and wiry. But Brett Hull, there was like no muscle tone at all. It wasn't working out, and he didn't care. He was just loving life on the ice, and he always found himself in a position to score, and he didn't miss on those opportunities. It's some guys are just like that, but that's the name that came to mind when you started talking about it.
I'm just trying to think of local guys that, whether it be any of the Detroit teams or Michigan State, you're just like, how was that guy successful?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm starting to think that Corey Joseph is wading towards one of the all-timers, and he is successful. I mean, he's 29 years old and he's making shots in the National Basketball Association. Enough that, like, it's not a shot when he goes into the lane. I always think he's getting problems. and he gets a shot off way more than I would have imagined. But 248-539-9797.
I think Cassius Winston was a little bit like that.
Cassius Winston was staying a little bit.
I was always amazed, like, how did he just did, wow. Like, well, that's not going to happen to the pros. He can't, and he's really got the opportunity to do that in the pros yet. But maybe that, I guess.
That's a good one.
But at 29, I don't think that Corey Joseph's an old man on this roster.
Well, he totally is an old man on this roster.
He looks even older.
But like I said, yeah, you'd see him and you go, hey, you need one? And that's that guy. You'd ask if he needs one, and then you'd play with him and go, he's pretty good. But he's exceptionally good, considering that he's playing in the National Basketball Association. double your winnings until May 9th. Straight up, man. They got promotions like this all the time. FanDuel Sportsbook promo code ticket. That's FanDuel Sportsbook promo code ticket. 21 and up, present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. 3+ legs, plus 200 or longer price SGP wager required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credits. 7 days restrictions apply. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients.
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Here's the dirt on dust. It may seem fun, but it's actually made of dead skin cells and dust mite droppings. That's where Swiffer Heavy Duty Dusters come in, with thousands of specially coated fibers to trap and lock dust in one swipe. Dust can't hide on ceiling fans, bookshelves, and more. When you're done, just remove the disposable fly mat. Voila! That dust is gone for good. Now that you know the dirt, say goodbye to the dust. Swiffer Heavy Duty Dusters. Stop bleeding. Start Swiffering.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right where your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority you.
I'm Jeff Lesson, and Lesson on Golf is back. Just accept it. Our 25th year bringing you the best deals in golf right now at LessonOnGolf.com. Lesson on Golf, Sunday, 8 a.m. 97-1 The Ticket.
If you need to repair or replace your roof, call the roofing company with the most five-star
Don't forget
reviews
to
in
put
Michigan.
on your list
Roofing,
that
world-class
you
customer
bump
service
that
and craftsmanship
window
and
up
full
and down or
warranty
thing,
guarantee.
switch.
Schedule your free, no obligation roof
Okay,
inspection.
I just
and
wanted to remind you.
RentersRoofing.com.
Love you. Bye, babe.
National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
97-1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
Corey Joseph plays downhill like a fullback. Everything to the I love it, LOL. That's from Z2Z3Z. Koi Boy 1, Scott Skiles. Dude looked fat slow and you could just ball out.
Yep. Well, before the 3-point era.
Yeah.
How many points have that guy scored from 3?
I don't know. It would have been a lot more. It already was a lot. That's a good example.
It's pretty good. He's got his guns.
All right, Gator. So the MHSAA has added girls wrestling to its championship schedule beginning next year. Girls will be allowed, this from the Freak Story today, girls will be allowed to compete on boys wrestling teams during the regular season and team tournaments during the winter sports season. Girls can now choose to compete in either boys or girls individual tournaments. So I guess, and I'm trying to figure out, this means that girls can go for a state championship in a girls bracket or choose to be in a boys bracket. The last numbers, girls wrestling participants went from 151 in 2018-19 to 401 in 2019 and 20. Now, I have a daughter who plays sports, but has never expressed even a remote interest in this. She plays soccer and basketball, but girls wrestling. I mean, okay.
professional wrestling, let alone for the actual amateur, which is real wrestling.
I'm not sure that there is a sport that I am less schooled to talk about. I know nothing about wrestling. I've watched a little bit of lacrosse on TV and always try and figure out the rules. I think one of the field hockey where you can only use one side of the stick. Did you know that? You're only allowed to use the flat side of the stick. You can only use the flat side of the stick.
Is it curved?
One side is flat, the other side is like bowed. It's curved, yeah. Yeah, I know. But when it comes to wrestling, I know nothing. I know nothing about the competition. Like, I'm just completely unschooled in it. But and maybe it's completely different than we're aware of. I would guess.
And one thing with field hockey, don't they also always have to keep the stick on the ball? Like they're hunched over the whole time. They can't just like tap it forward and run after it, right? Don't they have to like stay on it? I don't know. I'm asking. Do you know? You don't know?
No clue.
But
Might be right.
to me, the few times that I've watched, the 96 seconds of my life that I've spent watching field hockey, looks like a back injury waiting to happen.
It looks like your back could be wrecked for
Just
life.
why would I even do this? Why am I hunched over the whole time? This is the worst thing ever. Like actual hockey or floor hockey, ice hockey or floor, I shouldn't say actual. Ice hockey or floor hockey, you're kind of upright.
Yeah.
You're in an athletic position, but hunched over, no.
So, I mean, I'm going to presume that this is a good thing. I'll presume that the girls will like this.
If there's an interest, and obviously
There's competition.
growing threefold or whatever it is, it sounds like more and more girls are interested in doing this. Okay, then fair enough, do it. Okay, but I don't think they should compete against the boys in the same sport.
Well, if there aren't any other girl wrestlers, then they want to wrestle. There's no choice. But now, I mean, I don't know that 401 competing in the wrestling season a couple years ago is necessarily enough to have a girls wrestling division at the high school level.
Yeah, I still think it's a bad idea to have them wrestle boys if that's what's happening. I don't. I think it's a no-win situation.
248-539-9797. Let's go to Nate and Taylor on 97.1. Hi, Nate.
Hey guys, how's it going today?
What's up?
Hey, so I was just talking to Screener. The guy that I saw when I was a kid, I went to Cleveland. It was a Tiger. We saw Steve Sparks walking down the road or downtown, and my dad gave me a baseball to go get his autograph, and I didn't believe he was a baseball player. I thought he was messing around with me. I mean, he had a polo shirt on, blue jeans. Like he looked like a dad, kind of.
Well, he was a
I did not
knuckleballer.
believe that he was a baseball player.
Sparky was a knuckleballer, and he actually wasn't out of shape. He didn't look like some fat guy just out there throwing. I mean, he was actually a normally looking athlete. But yeah, I imagine once you see him just in street clothes, you'd be like, this guy? Yeah. All right.
I was like 9 or 10 years old at the time. I knew who Robert Fick was and like Damon Easley was, but I could not pick him out of a crowd.
I think half the players that played in the 70s are probably like that in baseball.
I think you're right. 70s baseball players were a train wreck in terms of, it was a bunch of dad bods.
Right. You look at Gaylord Perry and like that. Really? You? How did you win 300? What?
We got that call because we were talking about Corey Joseph and the Pistons. How does this guy get a shot off? And he gets into the lane and gets plenty of shots off, but he doesn't look like he's particularly quick, nor can he jump. But he is crafted the art of getting making a shot in the lane amongst the trees at the NBA level, which is amazing. Brian's on a cell and he's next. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Brian.
So I graduated in '89, and I had a girl join our wrestling team on my senior year. She got hazed just as much as everybody else, because that's kind of what we do when we're wrestling, is you beat up on the new guys. But the first day of full contact practice, she broke 3 fingers and her wrist.
Like her own. She didn't do it to somebody else.
No, somebody broke hers.
Okay.
So I mean, we're still friends to this day. She ended up, finishing the season not with the team as the scorekeeper, but
Well, hey, I said, Ryan, when you say that somebody broke hers, are you saying that somebody like did it on purpose, or did she just fall
I think that
awkwardly
she
on
just
her
landed,
wrist? Okay.
I think she just landed awkwardly.
That distinction needs to be made.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, obviously that doesn't happen to everybody because these girls have been competing in boys wrestling for a while, and now they have their own division to go for a state championship. And had this been happening, had this been the norm, Brian, I don't think you'd see. I mean, it's just unfortunate, of course, what happened to her. But hey, man, from 2018 and 19, there were 151 girls wrestlers at the MHSAA level, and a year later, there's 401. So it's obviously growing in popularity.
Yeah, and with an announcement, if they're going to consider it, I would imagine it'd be even more interest. It's going to probably grow exponentially.
Well, how many girls that thought about wrestling decided not to because there were no girls to wrestle against? So, is that exactly your point?
Yeah.
Did I just back up?
No, but I like it. Yeah. Thanks for helping to solidify.
Let's go to Mitch on a cellular next. What's up, Mitch?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right, what's up?
So I grew up in Livonia, but moved deep into Wisconsin after college, so kind of behind enemy lines. Got a little intel on how they feel about the situation with Rogers, and I mean, just talking to some people I'm close with, it sounds like they're still very much on his side in the whole thing. I mean, if they were to trade him, they'd want 3 first-round picks, but they're just still fed up with the years of the draft decisions made by the management, sticking with McCarthy as long as they did, and kind of the recent coaching blunders. So I'd say they're still very much in Rodgers' camp and the whole thing, but...
So the fans are on Team Rogers. They don't think he is becoming like a petulant child.
That's kind of the sense I still get. I just think that the long-running frustrations with the front office and coaching, it's still so far tipping that way on the scales. I mean, I'm sure there's some frustration, but it's not to the point where they'd be anywhere remotely pleased to see him go.
I'll tell you, I think the reason the Packer fans are on his side, it's that decision to go for the field goal. And the exasperation on his face when they did that. Then he hosts Jeopardy, and the guy, writes the final Jeopardy thing, kind of teasing him about that, who'd go for a field goal, and Aaron writes, yeah, that's a question I want to know too, or whatever, we responded to it. It just feels that fire, and the Packer fans are so pissed about that because it was an opportunity for them to advance. Now, it wasn't very good. Was it 4th and 11 or whatever it was? But it was a chance nonetheless, and they're not going to look at if it was a good opportunity, a bad opportunity. It was an opportunity missed.
When you make that call that doesn't work out, people vilify it.
Yes.
They're mad. They're really mad. 248-539-9797. Chad is in Grand Rapids and next. Hi, Chad.
How you doing, guys?
What's up?
The thing that I was thinking about is the fact that what about the girls that want to get into MMA? That is the first way to get yourself into it, along with jiu-jitsu and the other martial arts.
I'm having problems understanding.
Well, he was saying that
talking
grappling, if you want to get into MMA, the grappling is the first thing you get into to get into MMA. So the grappling, kind of like the wrestling thing. And this is how they do it. And MMA is a sport that has grown tremendously.
How many girls do you think are I'm asking, it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but how many girls do you think are really motivated by MMA?
Well, more now than there were 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Well, 15 I think they've been fighting 10 years or so. Gina Carano, I think, was on the scene 10 years ago. So,
it could be. I don't know if it's a significant number. Is it?
Well, Ronda Rousey.
I will say, whenever I'm like in a bar and there's going to be a fight, and it starts filling up with clearly the fight crowd, and I'm wrapping up dinner with the fam, and I look around, there's plenty of women there.
Yeah, and I think when Ronda Rousey was in her prime there, which isn't that long ago, I think that generated a lot of interest in the sport as well. So it's a sport that, and whether it's people learning how to wrestle or the girls learning jiu-jitsu, I think that all that is picking up.
Let's go to Emilio in Brighton. You're next. What's up, Emilio?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
So I think the girls wrestling divisions for like high school competing is a great idea. I wrestled in high school, and the thing about girls in wrestling is, in middle school and those younger age groups, they dominate. They are amazing because they hit that growth spurt and that puberty earlier. But then it gets up to high school, and the competition gets a lot harder for girls because guys start going through that same growth spurt and that puberty.
And I know a lot of girls that want to wrestle, but like you guys were saying, they kind of get turned away because there's no other girls for them to wrestle, so they have to go against these big guys that are a lot stronger, a lot faster than them. So I think the girls wrestling division, I think it's a great idea.
Did you say you wrestled in high school?
Yeah, I did.
You did. And was there a girl on your team?
Yeah, we had 2 girls on the team who in middle school were like domination. Like they just ran through everybody they came up against. So then kind of got up to high school and there was a lot tougher competition, especially once we got to the team meets and the individuals and things like that. And so for them trying to place and, get a banner hung up in our gym, it was just, there wasn't any chance for them to really progress any farther.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't do this unless they thought the numbers were good enough to be able to legitimately have a competition. So that's cool. And certainly in a day and age where there's a keen eye on gender equity, having a girls wrestling championship, which the MHSAA, for people just joining us, the MHSAA has added a girls wrestling championship to their schedule beginning next year. We're wondering what the market for this is, if you will. 248-539-9797, 97.1 The Ticket.
Well, you've got goals this year, and now you've got resources right there in your home equity. Now, in 2020, the average homeowner gained $20,000 in home equity. So put it to work and refinance through Hall Financial. Hall Financial is fantastic. I've used them in the past, and I couldn't be happy with the results I got from them. I would use them again if I wanted to refinance. If you've got the situation that arises and you want to refinance, give them a call. Take care of those home improvement projects, that lingering debt, and take care of it all with Hall Financial. Now, they're known for their 5-star service, and they've got over 3,000 of them with the reviews, in fact. Hall Financial is committed to client service. They focus on putting you in the best financial position possible. Now, the Fed announced last week interest rates will remain low. So if you haven't refinanced within the last 12 months, you haven't missed out yet. But act now before you do. Go to davidhallmortgage.com and you can qualify for a free appraisal. Heck, 2/3 of their loans don't even need an appraisal. Waived appraisal fees can save you up to $750. Your loan will likely close in 10 business days or less. You've got equity, so you've got choices. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today. That's davidhallmortgage.com.
Now playing in theaters. Huntington I'll kill myself. From director Guy Ritchie. I'm gonna have to go undercover, boss. Jason Statham. I can do it in 2 weeks. You only wish you could do it in 20 years. Wrath of Man. Rated R. In theaters now.
This Odyssey.com Sports Minute is brought to you by North Bloomfield Properties.
This is Andrew Bogish with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Happy 5-year anniversary to arguably the most improbable home run in baseball history. On May 7, 2016, 42-year-old Mets starter Bartolo Colon hit his first and only home run in San Diego. Everything about the moment was amazing. Colon had no business going yard in a big league game, but there he was, unleashing a no-doubter. The TV call was perfect, with Gary Cohen's voice full of shock and awe, and his partner, Ron Darling, giggling in disbelief in the background. Colon took roughly 7 minutes to round the bases, his teammates using that time to go down the tunnel, so Colon returns to a nearly empty dugout. I've watched this highlight more than once just to put a smile on my face. Happy anniversary, Bartolo. I'm Andrew Bogish.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have what's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol chews for fast relief. Use as
all that and the time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
your projects is easier than ever. Introducing Angie, the app that puts all your home care needs at your fingertips. Need a pro to fix that emergency leak? Maybe find someone to build a deck, or even set your seasonal tasks on autopilot. Angie can handle all that and more. Expert pros, hundreds of home projects, clear pricing, and the easiest way to book and pay in seconds. This is Angie, your home for everything home. Download the app today.
Did you know there's more than one Las Vegas? There's the Strip, families on vacation, and questionable odds. Then there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike C Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Derek Skubal looks to earn his first win of the season as the Tigers battle the Minnesota Twins tonight. The opener of that three-game weekend series at Comerica Park. Hear the game right here on The Ticket, starting at 6:50. Just hours after officially signing his 4-year, $54 million contract extension, Pro Bowl center Frank Ragnow, meeting with reporters today, talked about his family's reaction to that huge contract extension.
My fiance called my mom over to the house. She brought cookie dough and made cookies, and she's probably mad at me because I'm crying right now. But like the moment, we were just all just like, my brother was watching the Minnesota Timberwolves getting
this is regular Kenny or Lord Kenny making this pick?
I think it's Lord.
If it's Lord Kenny, we all know how this pick's going to work out.
Well, you know what? He spits in the face of the Lord.
We tried to. It didn't work out.
Well, you're going to do it again.
We're going to double down. All that church money, we double it.
That's right.
We put it back and then we double
So
it.
you'll be Lord Kenny again?
That's right.
Again.
I'm going to believe in him one more time.
Back on top of the mountain, baby.
One more time.
Kenny, this is God speaking. How dare you think you could go up against me and win?
We'll see who wins round 2, buddy boy.
That's right. That's right, buddy boy.
Right back on the horse.
Patronize
You'll
him.
not be a disgrace to me, but to this radio station and this city.
We'll see who the disgrace is after my overhit.
That's right.
Buddy boy.
Oh, la-da-da-da-da. Oh, good for you.
Good for you. Tell Jesus where to go. We're betting it over tonight at 2:45.
All I know is that was the easiest, buddy. When it was low, and then it went to 2-2, and that was it. I just held up my hand saying, yes!
I know. You were celebrating as poor Kenny was probably having a nervous breakdown.
Oh, please. That's why Kenny got dropped to his knees. Dear God, please let the Tigers go long.
We will.
Please, do not let me go on air on Thursday. I have failed you. I have sinned. It's like Jimmy Swagger. I have sinned.
You're on. Listen, it doesn't matter that the Black Caucus has turned on you. I'm still here for you. You got one more shot. You're going to get this done tonight, but you better get your head right because you look nervous out there making a pick. I don't know what to do. I don't like the board. You sounded like me. I didn't like the board.
Follow the teachings of my disciple, Hatchet Man.
Please.
No nerves here. I feel
Noted con artist.
Oh. Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Okay.
I should have listened to Satan when he told me about you.
I'm loving this, God. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I will also say Roberto did not record any of my suggestions.
Yeah, I would not be working today.
I had some very...
What are you talking about? That's God. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's very choice cuts. Where do you guys want to begin? Because there's a million directions here. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what is it that I watched yesterday with Floyd Mayweather, dressed like a 12-year-old in a matching short suit, getting his hat taken off by some YouTube star's brother? What? You know, you called me earlier, and you're like, Mike, let me tell you the dumbest thing that I've heard. Like, why are we the way we are? You juxtapose what you were going to bring up with this Floyd Mayweather nonsense. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah, Mike, I think we've come to the point where we realize that life is just turning into a gigantic satire. It's hard to believe anything. You had the Ohio lawman who's fighting against distracted driving as he's driving his car. Well, here's what he did. Zoom meeting, sets up the background of his house, but he's constantly looking to the left and to the right until somebody realized, where are you right now? I'm at home. You have on your seatbelt, sir. Huh? Your seatbelt. We clearly see you're driving right now as you're trying to come up with a law against distracted driving. I can't make this stuff up. Seatbelt right there, and it's like one of those, as people drive, looking to the left, looking to the right, it's like, what do you look, what, if you're at home, because if we all sit at home in our lazy boy with a seatbelt, right? We all do this.
Every day I see stuff, and it's like Darwinism. Like, it's just, I don't know, like even with the Mayweather thing. Like, with so many real things going on in sports and real things you can pay attention to in the world, look at what one of the biggest stories was. So you got these two YouTube stars. I don't even know what Jake and Logan Paul's skills in life are. I just know a lot of people like them. Fine. It's the most made-up thing in the world where Mayweather is getting in the face of this guy, and then the guy takes his hat off. Now he gets a tattoo a day later. I mean, basically what? Are the Paul brothers just professional trolls? Is that their bit? Is that their brand?
Mayweather came out and said, I can beat both of them. You're both fake fighters. I'm a real fighter.
They are.
Right, and I think for Mayweather, he's sick of seeing these guys fighting and beating
whatever.
But you know what's
and
going to
getting
happen?
credibility. So he's, you know what?
Let me tell you what's going to happen.
Fight me.
If this fight goes off in Miami against Logan Paul or Jake Paul or both in tandem, it's going to put me in a position to do something that I just find totally distasteful. I'm going to root for Floyd Mayweather, who's a disgusting human being. I mean, you can just basically do a 10-second Google, and he's just a bad guy. This goes beyond the theatrics and the, whether you like his boxing style or not. Notice I didn't say anything about his ability. He is a historically great fighter, okay? But he's a terrible guy. Gross. But I'm going to have to root for him.
Damn.
Because I have to tell you, this Logan Paul and Jake Paul thing has to stop. The fact that every day I'm getting ready to do a show and I'm seeing ESPN talk about these two hyenas this way, like, it's got to stop. Talk about Aaron Rodgers, talk about LeBron, talk about Jose Altuve and his nibble buzzers and the cheating Astros. Please. But the idea, look at what we're talking about right now. I'm telling you, if this fight goes off, I'm rooting for known scumbag Floyd Mayweather. I'm rooting for him.
You have to.
I want him to end both of their life forces. Because the idea that two people, no, I'm serious. The idea that these two guys can just be professional trolls and that's their claim to fame. Like, it's not like they are musical artists who you think are trolls. Or they are actors or an actress or whatever. Literally. They just do things. We are so far gone as a society. It's like what Rico's talking about. A lawmaker making a law about distracted driving, and on a Zoom about the law he's trying to get passed is driving in a distracted manner. Like, it's the same thing.
Like, it looked, seriously, it looked like a horrible Saturday Night Live skit. Come on. Guys, if this were to go on SNL, I would have said, yeah, you gotta come up with a better skit than this. This is not funny. It's real life. This is where we are.
Why are we the way we are? Like, we are so stupid. It goes beyond anything that Al Avila does, which are notably bad baseball decisions. I'm talking about, like, on a daily basis, the things that you see. I don't know what to say, but I'll tell you, I don't know if people agree with this or not. I'll throw the number out. I mean, Rico's story is just funny.
Why we need vice president, not sure. Idiocracy.
Oh, yes. President Machete, right?
Camacho.
President Camacho.
Vice president, not sure.
We're living it. We are one step from watering the crops with soda. Like,
Rondo.
Right. We're one step from it. But maybe I'm guilty. I will root for Mayweather to end these two. I can't take anymore. I don't know why I let it bother me. Because Mayweather I can't stand either. But I like, if you're listening, are you buying this fight? You're not. David?
No.
David admitted it's okay to say yes.
But I want the Paul brothers to be destroyed, so I want to see it if
So
they
do
do.
I. So
I
do
might
I.
buy it.
You know what?
And you know what, Mike? David just answered the question. Why are we like we are? Because we watch the train wrecks. We stop.
Do you think this fight happens?
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to be money on the line.
Let's go to Miami for it. Come on. No. Come on.
No.
I'll buy dinner.
No.
I'll buy your hotel. Come on.
Mike, I love you.
We can dress like Floyd Mayweather, matching short suits together.
This can't be the first fight that I go to.
I take your hat, you take mine, and we walk down the road together. It'll be exciting.
No, the first fight I go to will be a real fight. It won't be this.
All right.
This ain't a real fight.
Okay. 248-539-9797. I'm not totally sure what I'm asking people. I just know Rico's story is I see 10 of those a day, and I feel like human intelligence is as low as it's ever been. And then this Jake Paul Mayweather thing yesterday, I'm actually contemplating being a complete hypocrite, buying this fight, and cheering for a guy who hits women. Think about the sentence that just left my mouth. 248-539-9797. We got on the board later in the hour.
Where is it?